As the fallout continues from the fatal ICE shooting in Minneapolis that killed Renee Nicole Good, one of the most pointed confrontations didn't come from cable news. It came from the New York Times. In a direct exchange, New York Times reporters pressed Donald Trump on his conclusion that the ICE agent involved acted appropriately. Here's what he said, and more importantly, what's being overlooked. During questioning by the New York Times, Trump was asked whether he stood by his assessment of the shooting, despite video evidence and strong pushback from Minneapolis officials. Trump reaffirmed his position, saying federal agents operate in high-risk situations and must be trusted to make split-second decisions. He framed the incident not as a failure of enforcement, but as an example of what he called political pressure against ICE. Notably, when pressed by the Times about the specific circumstances of Renee Nicole Good's death, Trump avoided addressing the details directly. Most coverage frames this as a debate over immigration enforcement. But a deeper issue is emerging: who has authority when federal agents operate inside a city that openly opposes their presence? Minneapolis leaders have challenged ICE's version of events, while federal officials insist local governments have no say. This case is quickly becoming a test of federal power versus local accountability, something rarely discussed in mainstream headlines. Another overlooked detail: in Trump's response to the New York Times, Renee Nicole Good was never mentioned by name. The conversation shifted almost entirely to law enforcement, politics, and policy, leaving the human cost in the background. For critics, that silence speaks volumes. ICE-related shootings and deaths are not new, but this one is unfolding differently. Why? Because video emerged early, local leaders publicly contradicted federal claims, and major outlets like the New York Times are pressing harder than usual. This isn't just another news cycle, it's a moment where narratives are colliding in real time. Trump's response wasn't only about this case. It was also a signal to supporters, to federal agents, and to political allies that aggressive enforcement remains central to his worldview. In that sense, the shooting of Renee Nicole Good has become part of a larger political message, whether intended or not. Investigations are ongoing, evidence is being reviewed, and public pressure continues to grow. But beyond the legal outcome, this case is reshaping conversations about ICE operations, federal authority, media accountability, and whose voices matter most after tragedy. The New York Times pressed Trump for